Alright, how's it really doing?
Good. I think I'm ready. I haven't made any macros, but I'm here.
Yo, boys. How's it going, Taylor?
Pretty good.
Yeah, so I let Ian know, and I'll let you know too, Taylor. We're all watching Game of Thrones at 9 p.m., so this will be a shorter session than I think Ian originally planned.
You'd rather watch Game of Thrones than be in Game of Thrones.
I know what that sound is.
What, me opening a bottle of whiskey?
Yeah, I had that exact same sound here not 2 seconds ago.
Nice.
Good old Wisers.
Had some Valentine's tonight in honor of my gramps. I shared a glass with them earlier this afternoon.
That's awesome.
So it's early morning and House Highmount is already abuzz. Servants prepare for the day, soldiers train in the yard, and Maester Gregory tends to the ravens. Edric is still asleep when he's roused hurriedly by his father, who's already wearing his breastplate. With authority, he turns to the young lad and says, "Dress yourself, boy. There's work to be done."
Of course, Father. I will at once.
He leaves the room and leaves Edric V to prepare. Upon arriving downstairs in the courtyard, he finds his father, Alden, preparing 3 horses, hardy destriers with thick manes. Already sitting astride a horse is Micah Strongarm, the captain of the guard for House Highmount, and Lord Alden. Stable boy prepares the 3rd horse. Alden speaks. "We've matters that beg our attention, child. As my heir, it's important you attend as well. Someday these will be your duties, and your son's and his after."
What have you asked of me, Father?
He allows Edric to mount his horse, and the trio depart. Glenshire is left in charge, along with Tom Stone, the master of the hunt for House Highmount.
Who we will not be hanging out with today.
Nope. This is what happens when you and Glenshire wandered off and got in all sorts of trouble.
Tom Stone's off doing something badass.
He's okay.
Making a bow or fucking horse or something.
Or, killing a man of the Iron Island.
Killing a man of the Iron Island. God, that was a battle.
Slowly, the trio heads off, and you can tell by the direction you're headed that you're off towards the Riverlands. Alden turns, riding next to his son, turns and says, "I have to inform you, boy, what we're doing here today. Along with the Maester, I've been working in private to locate the lost ancestral sword of Highmount. You do remember the stories, do you not?"
I do remember the stories from when I was a boy, Father, but I always enjoy hearing you recount them.
He sort of lets off a light nod and grimace, but maintains an air of seriousness about him. "The last Lord of Highmount, before our family took over, the old Lord, whose name has been lost to the ages, was slain during the Blackfire Rebellion. His sword was called Firetongue. There is a song about the fall of the last Lord of Highmount. However, I can't quite sing. I do recall the words. Your mother would always sing much better than I did. The lost lord approached and settled his van, saddled the horses, notched all the bows, rounded the soldiers steady in rows. The lost lord rode on, his doom close at hand. 2 mighty forces did mar the lord's plan, the mighty gold lion braving the throes, the quick noble eagle dodging the blows. The lost lord, fate sealed, turned tail and ran. As the lord ran away, the ground reached up her hand, and grabbed onto each passing horse, cart, and man. As the arrows rained down, the lord lay in the blood, laid to rest by the earth in a tomb made of mud. While the lion claimed victory and the eagle award, the lost lord lost army, castle, and sword." We must remember these words, child. It reminds us not to forget the folly of those that have come before us.
I agree, Father.
What say you, Micah?
It's a chilling song, my lord. That's all Micah has to say.
Alden merely nods in agreement with the old man and stoically continues on the way.
What's the name of the sword again?
Fire tongue.
And is it Valyrian Steel?
It is a Valyrian Steel weapon.
Holy shit.
So, Father, is it believed that the fire tongue was swallowed up with the Lost Lord?
It's believed so and accepted, my boy. The research done by Maester Gregory and myself indicates that we believe we've found the spot in the Riverlands where this sword lays buried. It is a rare and valuable weapon, and one that should belong with the house and whoever the ruler may be.
It will do honor to your line for many generations. And Micah looks over to Edric and nods as if he's the future, and one day the sword will be his.
I agree, Micah. If we find it, it shall be passed down throughout all the generations. I've got to get this accent down.
So epic. So glad that that's his accent.
The trio travels uneventfully down the road until reaching a small inn called the Prancing Mare. The inn is owned by a rough-looking woman called Helga. Alden is instantly recognized walking in, as he's quite popular among the small folk. Helga walks up with ale and greets the trio. She informs them that drinks are on the house.
Thank you, woman.
Alden gives his thanks and pays her 5 silver regardless. After a couple drinks at the table, the door opens. A grand figure, clad in shining half-plate armor, strides in and sort of looks around before spotting the 3 of you and walking up.
Do we recognize his crest or anything?
You all recognize him instantly as the younger brother of Lord Alden.
Oh, joy.
And Edric's uncle, Geralt Highmount, a knight in the service of John Arryn. Carries with him his own shield. He's a knight. He has his own unique sigil, which is the silver gauntlet of House Highmount on a plain blue field.
And where does he live, normally?
He's a tourney knight, so he kind of goes from place to place. But...
So does he have like a room in the house, but he just is there in his room when he stays? Or when he stays, is he such at guest status at this point, he doesn't even have a room in House Highmount anymore?
He'd be given guest quarters. He normally resides in the Eyrie.
I wonder which brother I'll like more. All right.
Just beer bottles falling all over the place, eh?
No, worse. That's where my pencil shavings are kept. So I got pencil shavings everywhere.
Even worse, fuck.
So horrible. That's why I got a dustbuster.
Alright, so walking up to the table, he musses Edric's hair and nods at Alden. There the fine folks are. He grins with cocky bravado.
I offer up my seat to him and move a seat further over so he can sit next to his family, and I sort of limp to the next seat.
Too late to stop you. He gives his thanks and pulls up a chair to sit next to his brother.
Geralt, it's good to see you. How are you?
I'd be happier with a fine woman in my bed and a belly full of mead, but I'm just fine all the same.
I'm sure it wouldn't be too difficult to get you that in these parts.
Alden kind of gives you a stern look.
I'll look at the floor.
Geralt grins and rounds up a glass of ale. Over drinks, Alden informs Geralt of the goings-on as well, since he's the closest brother. He feels that he should be involved to some degree in reclaiming their birthright, essentially. You finish your drinks, discuss the plans, and all retire to the rooms that have been provided for you.
Right on.
All right.
Are there any whores about that we can actually get a whore for Geralt?
Geralt's surrounded himself with...
he's taking care of it himself?
He's been cordial with the barmaids. Rumor has it that he has one or several baseborn children strewn about the 7 kingdoms.
Good man. That's how it's done. Not like there's DNA tests in Westeros. Just the only way to know is if they're black of hair. All right, and are our rooms in our names?
They kind of have limited spaces, but Geralt's gone off and he's managed to get his own room. Everybody else has got one large room that they're kind of all sharing.
Oh, so all 3 of us are in one big room?
Yep.
Oh, all right, good. So I can keep an eye on my lord.
Yes.
All right, so once I'm up in the room, I'll remove my hard leather and place it neatly in the corner alongside my longsword and the buckler. Tuck myself in for an assumed long day ahead tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll keep a sword nearby, and I'll wedge some piece of wood or something up under the door, so to kind of bar anyone from entering in the night, and I'll kind of let myself fall asleep once the 2 lords have fallen asleep.
All right, so morning goes uneventfully. You awake without incident, gather your things, pay for your room, and head on your way. Helga was courteous enough to provide you with breakfast. You have salt meat and hard bread for the ride.
All right, great.
All right, after traveling for several hours, it's about just past midday, and you will travel down the path going through a heavily wooded area.
What are we expected to find this day? Like, how far are we hoping to get?
You rode all day yesterday, and you managed to get kind of just outside the Riverlands, and now you're hoping in this ride that you'll actually arrive at the swamp where the sword is supposed to be.
All right. So I'll let Alden lead the way, because this is his quest, and I'll be taking up the rear and keeping an eye out to make sure no one comes up and starts to follow us.
All right. Everybody roll awareness with bonus dice for notice.
Oh, Edric's more observant than the old man.
More observant than Geralt.
Geralt's still drunk in the morning.
Yeah, just hanging his head down. Edric and Micah, you're both aware that you've had a tail for the past couple miles.
All right, I make eye contact with Edric, and I can tell that he's aware.
Yep.
And I'm going to ride up kind of next to Geralt so I can whisper it to Geralt so he's aware, but we're not, like, all giving it away. And if Edric wants, he can do the same to his father.
Yeah, so I'll, as I ride next to my father, without looking too obvious, say, "Father, we have a tail."
Alden will now look around and see if he can identify it. And he can.
We've been followed for around the last 2 miles. They're straight behind us. Does anyone know we're out here, Father?
Maester knows we're on our way, and surely the barmaid would know that we were headed this direction.
That wench better not have said anything. Good-for-nothing commoners.
I love Edric so much.
At the commoner comments, Alden sort of turns to the boy and says, "Need I remind you, boy, that our house was born of a bastard?"
Of course. My apologies, Father.
Rounding a bend, you come to 2 men standing in the middle of the road. Most assuredly, they have something to do with the group or the person that has been tailing you.
They don't seem to have horses tied up anywhere nearby?
No, they don't. You don't see any horses.
I'll take my father's lead on this one, and we presumably slow down as we get to these people.
Pretty much blocking the path, so you have no choice but to stop.
We could run them down.
Those guys are coming up as question marks for me. Back.
Well, the guy basically directly opposite of Lord Alden looks different from the other one.
Great description.
All right, not letting my master have to deal with such petty things to pretend we're oblivious. This is probably a trap. I'll sort of have my horse step forward a bit, and I'll say,
"Out of the way, small folk! This is a road, not a lobby!"
Micah's amazing. A chilling story, my lord.
The gentleman standing in the center of the road, a scraggly-looking fellow, and clearly the one in charge, sort of turns to you and says, "Now listen here, old man. You're gonna stop. You're gonna listen to what we have to say."
I draw my sword and have my horse ready on the reins.
"I will not ask you again, peasant. Be out of our way, or be run through."
"We've got gentlemen lining these woods, and you think you can handle us? We've got you surrounded, old man. Now why don't you put your sword away, listen to us, and hear what we have to say?"
I just look to Alden and see if Alden is going to step in for the diplomacy bit, which would be his position, or if he wants me to just charge this man.
Alden notices you, instead turns to Edric. "Boy, take the lead on this one."
Ooh.
Of course, Father. Edric will slowly trot up with his horse. And what makes you think we should listen to a word that you have to say?
"Oh, the little lordling wants to talk. Has Daddy got you running things now, boy?"
The little lordling does not want to talk. The little lordling suggests you get out of the way before I run you through with my sword. You have absolutely no right to speak with us this way or hold us up.
"You don't recognize me, do you, boy?"
And with that, Edric will sort of run through the Rolodex in his head as to try to recognize this guy.
It would be like a book of houses, not like a Rolodex.
Roll a cunning test, Ryder. The details are fuzzy, but you suddenly realize that you saw the man in the inn the night before.
Oh, yes. I remember seeing your ugly face in the inn last night. I was hoping I'd never have to lay eyes on it again.
"Yeah, you a jester? We heard you talking mighty loud about that nice and shiny sword you're all after. Figure, well, you could fetch a pretty price for a nice weapon such as that."
I look back at my father and look over at Micah and Geralt. We have no more to say to you. Father, Geralt.
Alden stands behind you, stoic, but you can see he has his hand on his sword, while Geralt trots up and dismounts his horse, ready to draw his weapon.
Now one last time, commoner. Stand aside and we'll let you live.
Alright, everybody roll awareness. Alright, so everyone but Ryder essentially is aware of 2 men moving through the bush on either side. Ah, moving bush!
Wizard-wise, they come alive. Oh!
Sir, we are being pelted by these apples.
Geralt, noticing this, shouts out, "We got guys in the woods here!" He draws the sword. Combat begins.
Yeah, I'm just want to charge this guy ahead of me.
Yes.
I'm ready to fuck these guys up.
Alright, so everybody roll initiative.
Nice. He's a beast.
Yep, he has to overcome being, like, crippled.
Just so fast.
He has the fastest torso in Westeros.
I gotta roll for the bandits, so drop the 5.
Jesus
makes 18.
Christ.
It's gonna be the bandit leader, then the 3 bandits, then Geralt, then Alden, then Micah, then you, Ryder.
Okay.
Alright, so the bandit leader runs forward and slashes his axe at Edric. Alright, so he takes a swing with his sword. So that's 8. So that's a hit. And then we'll reset by your armor rating, which is 3.
And Edric Highmount falls lifeless to the ground. Da, 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 da.
It's regular weapon damage. So basically, he takes a mighty swing with his sword, and it merely ticks off your leather armor and does nothing. Alright, so the bandit then, I'll start with this one here. He runs forward 1 square and attacks Micah. He takes a swing, and you deflect it off your shield.
Oh, this guy's so fucking dead.
This guy rushes at you as well, and he rolls clack with a 14. So that hits, but I think you have hard leather armor as well, eh?
Armor
Again,
rating 3.
He lands a hit, but it's just unable to chip through your armor.
Good man, what an ass. Fucking commoners.
The last bandit rushes out of the woods and takes a swing at Geralt. Lands at 11 against Geralt's combat defense of... So 7. That succeeds it by 4, so it's still a regular degree of success. Doesn't come close to his armor rating. So again, clack, they run at you, but it's just doing nothing. It's like fighting the wind. The play proceeds to Geralt, who will swing at the bandit that just attacked him. So -2 at 17.
Jesus.
What a beast.
That exceeds it by 9. A great success. So he deals damage times 2. With a single swing of his sword, he stabs the bandit through the heart and just slumps him to the ground.
Well done, Geralt.
It's nothing there, Edric. Alden will move. Horse movement. So your destrier, the movement is 6 spaces, so that's where he moves. I'll allow play to proceed on to Micah Strongarm then.
So I'm going to charge through this guy to here. So that is with the ride bonus, so that's 14.
14, good man.
So does it attack on the guy as it kicks over him? How does that work? So then my Desiree, does the Desiree do damage?
Gotta be stronger. It's a normal attack, except you do an animal handling test instead of fighting.
So yeah, that 14 is my animal handling ride attack to try to kick this guy in the face with my horse.
His combat defense is 8, and so that's 6 in excess, so that's damage times 2. Damage is equal to your steed's athletics rank, so that's athletics 5.
So is that 10?
That's 10.
That's
You
amazing.
basically, like, your horse knocks him down, and with a sickening thump, its hoof slams into his head.
Fuck that guy.
Fuck that guy.
Ryder, your turn.
Okay, I'll look down at the guy in front of me. I think he's the leader, right?
Yes.
If I can't draw my sword and attack him, and I know I'm not going to be able to do that, then yeah, I'm going to charge through him, take Micah's lead on that, pull the reins back, and get ready to drive my heel into the horse to shut him forward. But beforehand, I'll look at the guy in front of me. You little maggot! You should have left when you had the chance! And I'll charge with the horse.
So it's an 11, which exceeds his combat defense by 2. So that deals base damage, which is 5.
That's still pretty fucking good.
Ryder charges his horse through him, and he sort of falls to one knee. The final remaining bandit, sort of seeing that the tide of battle has turned, begins to flee, head back down the path.
Mount yourself, Geralt! After him! None can know of our quest!
Geralt does not mount himself, but instead draws a bow.
Oh, good man. I didn't know he had a bow. Let's see how good he is with it.
So that's 14. That exceeds the bandit by 6, which is 2 degrees of success. 4 times 2 is 8. As the guy flees down the road, Geralt draws his bow back and quickly launches one arrow into the small of the man's back, and he takes a step and slumps over dead.
Alright, so now is the hurt bandit leader's turn?
Hurt bandit leader merely,
I
I yield.
Oh, good. He was saving us the trouble of another round. While I assume Edric and the lords are interrogating that guy, if we're out of the encounter thing now and can move freely, I'm going to go around in perception and see if the people that we thought were following us just were the people on the wings without horses, or if there's anyone else in this group.
Alright, roll awareness.
There's no bonus dice, it's just 15.
You sort of take your time and thoroughly take a look around the area, and you can find no other people nor any trace of other people. You're fairly confident that the people you felt trailing you were in fact these two bandits waiting in the wings.
All right, so then while they interrogate him, I will search the dead bandits, and I will collect their weapons in a bundle and pull their bodies off to the side of the road, but mostly be searching them for clues and money.
You find no clues. Appear to merely be bandits.
All right, so I have their weapons bundled on my horse, and I hand all their money purses over to Alden, and I stand ready to torture this guy if they need my help in torturing.
Father, what shall we do with him?
Alden approaches and gazes at the bandit before him. The bandit, whimpering, looks up at the Lord. Please, sir, to spare my life. I'll flee, I'll never return, you'll never see me again. Alden looks down at the man, pity in his eye.
This may not be the time for mercy, my lord. He knows our plans, he'll tell others. We cannot let him free until the sword is in our grasp.
And who are we to pass judgment for sins, Micah?
Then we bind him and take him with us. If we cannot manage his load, then his end will be my blade, and it will not taint your honor.
I have to agree with Micah, Father. You heard him before. We can't let him go back to his friends, and he knows where we're going. He knows our intentions.
Even if he doesn't come after us, he is a no-good bandit. He'll just attack the next person he hears about in the bar.
Does he know where we're going? Truly, if he knew where we were headed, he would not simply ask us.
Is it a risk you're willing to take, Father? This sword represents more than simply a value that it does to this bandit. It represents the honor of our family and our house.
These men were a challenge that the warrior of the Seven set before us on this quest. Let me finish it.
I would not commend a man to die for his sin.
All right, I sheathe my sword then, and I don't speak another word of it after my master has made his command.
We will bind him, and he will take the black, and we will never see him again. He bends over to the bandit and tightly binds his arms, tosses his sword away.
Can I check him for weapons? Because we're keeping him with us, I guess. We're not going to leave him and say, he'll be like, yeah, I'm going to take the black. He just leaves. So are we, then tying him up and, stringing him up on the back of my horse or something?
Alden says that you will, take him back to the inn and ditch him there for one of the passing groups on the way to the wall.
I'll go and bring him and they'll continue on without me?
You'll go do it now to be rid of him, pretty much.
All right, and then I'm to, try to catch up, if I can catch up?
I'll just RP it. Micah, you will take this man back to the end of the prancing mare. There, you will leave the gold that was on the bodies with the innkeeper. She will maintain him until such a time as one of the Night's Watch can escort him to his new life.
And he can earn his honor back hunting grumpkins and taking care of those bastards over the wall. I put him on my horse.
Perhaps the father spared him for a reason.
I hope you understand the second life that my father has given you. Do not make waste of it.
And I ask if there's any other instructions, and then my guy will just head out.
No suggestion. We'll wait here and take care of the bodies. Even men such as these should be given a proper rest. Make haste, Micah.
I nod, and I'll prance off.
Alden sort of turns to the two other men, and somberly he cleans his blade, wipes it on the pant leg of one of the dead men, and resheathes it. Come, let us give these men a proper burial. We won't leave them out here for the beasts and creatures.
Of course, Father.
The sun hanging low in the sky, you grab a shovel you had in your pack and begin making shallow graves for the three unfortunate men who dared cross your paths.
If only they listened. It is a sad end to see men like this die, but what are we to do, Father, when people threaten us such as this? No choice.
Now you understand. Sometimes, being a person such as ourselves, in a good position, we are forced to make difficult choices at times. This is what I'm hoping you will learn.
I have learned it once again today, Father. You've done an incredible job teaching me this over the years, but being presented and threatened like this is something new. I apologize if I showed disrespect or I did not act as you wished me to, Father.
I'm sure you have your reasons for things, boy. You must remember that our family has been shown leniency in the past. We could have been branded as sons of traitors. We could have been stripped of our lands, but King Robert saw to it that we weren't. We were given our second chance, and we must remember to be forgiving as well.
Words that I will remember, Father. It is and will always be my intention to pay honor to you and to learn from all of the lessons you give me. Thank you, Father.
Alden smiles, as only a father could, and turns and begins digging. And with that, I think we'll actually wind it down. for this evening, and that's where we'll split the session.
Cool.
That's Beast just ending the session just with the sun going down, digging the graves of the men that we killed.
Yeah, so Micah probably isn't going to do what his master said exactly. If he's some old G that has been cleaning up after his, like, 2 honorable lords' messes for a while, and he knows how important this thing is, he's probably going to kill this guy in the woods, hide his body, go back to the inn and sell the swords and give all the money to the woman, and to say that, like, someone from the Black came and collected prisoners and that man went with him to the wall, and Alden will never know.
I could see the reasoning in that.
He just knows how important this whole sword quest is for the family, so nothing can get in the way of it. His master's honor is safe.
Really, Ian's playing, like, my entire storyline upon this guy, like, telling someone else
Well,
that you've, like, screwed everything up.
I guess the other half of the session will be in 3 weeks when I rewrite everything.
You can always rely on Taylor for making that happen. Well, thanks for setting up the session there, Ian. I'm looking forward to playing. I think this is going to be a really fucking, beast world to be a part of. I'm looking forward to playing Edric.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Star Wars as well.
Sweet, dude. All right, guys, I'm going to go pour a drink and get ready for Game of Thrones. Thanks again for a great session.
Good man, yeah, it was fun.
Good man.
Good man.
Fucking man.
Good fucking man.
Good man.
It was a chilling story. A chilling tone, my lord.
I know, it sounds like a character from a movie
Micah?
or something, though.
It was a chilling story, my
I have
lord.
no idea where that voice came from.
I love that.
Yeah, it was fucking awesome.
I wish I could remember which movie character that reminds me of.
I have no idea.
Oh, you know what? It sounds like Woodhouse from Archer.
It probably is Woodhouse. Woodhouse is amazing. I should just do it more like Woodhouse and listen to Woodhouse. Because Woodhouse is so amazing.
I shall fetch a rug.
Such a good show.
All right, you fucking see you bastards.
Good man, Ryder.
Yeah, good man.